Hey everyone, thanks for coming back again. Today we're going to freshen up the firewall. The firewall's been painted. A lot of the brackets have been painted for that mount to it, the hood latches, or the hood hinges, the battery box. I'm also going to show you what we decided to do with the transmission mount. And just because my videotaping at that portion was a little unclear, just to let you know, what we ended up doing was using the F100 trans mount versus the Crown Vic trans mount. We welded a plate to the F100 transmission cross member mount and just had to move it back about 4 inches. Worked out really well, no other fabrication needed. Whereas with the Crown Vic mount, there would have had to been quite a lot of fab work done to get it to fit between the stock pickup truck rails. So here we go. Little squeaky brakes out there. Yep, we hear you. Okay, let's go, guys. Thanks. Here we are getting ready to paint the firewall. Did the lower half already in a semi-gloss black. Let me get some light on there, see if I can light that up a little bit for you. And we're going to paint the upper half red like the truck. So I pretty much got it stripped. Just got to clean it up a little bit more before we and scuff it up before we paint it. Did want to show you this plate we had to add for the brake booster. The firewall was still flexing a bit, so we put some 1/4-inch plate on here just to stiffen it up. And you're going to be able to see that slightly, but on the inside of the firewall there's just too much stuff in there to have mounted that on the inside, so we just decided to do it on the outside there. So let's get on and get this thing painted. Here we are with the engine and front suspension removed, hopefully for the last time. Dan painted the firewall and the frame over the weekend. I think it turned out really nice. I just wanted to freshen everything up, so when we have the engine in there and all assembled and I open the hood, it'll give a nice look to it. Just going to have to also paint the fender wells at some point, but this freshened up really nicely. Really happy with how this turned out. I think Dan did a great job on it. What we did for the transmission mount was we used the factory cross member here. It was just less bulky than the factory one. Here's the factory one in the barrel here. And what we did with the original one on the truck was just weld this plate here to it. The transmission will mount right through the 2 holes there. And just required sliding this back about 4 inches. But it fits right between the frames, needed no other fab work. Whereas if I would have used the one out of the Crown Vic, I mean, you can see it's a lot more wider and quite a bit bulkier. And so that's what we decided to do, was go with the factory one. Alrighty, this is the last thing I wanted to share with this brake pedal fiasco. We had to reinforce it on the firewall like I showed you earlier. And underneath the dash here, when we would press the brake pedal, we were getting some flexing still over here on the bracket where it was flexing inward a bit. So what Dan did was weld in this tube, and he welded it to the firewall supports that are down under here, and also to the brake pedal bracket assembly. So what I'm going to show you here next is some trick welding that he did. He's welding left-handed, looking in a mirror through here, so that he could get welding on the back side also, not just in the front here that you can see. So I was pretty impressed with this. Hope you enjoy it. Here we are with the engine and trans back in for the last time. Got the brakes installed, booster installed, brakes are bled. Next thing I'm going to do is paint the battery box and get that mounted in place. And that goes right over here on the passenger side. So we'll be back shortly. Alright, here we are with the Firewall pretty much finished up. Got the battery tray installed and all the covers in place. And we're going to finish this video here and call this one done till the next one. Hello guys, the last thing I want to say about this steering setup is one thing I do see quite a few people maybe overlooking, and it is a safety issue, so I wanted to just point out a couple things to finish this up for the steering. On the mechanism here, Crown Vic joint right there, in the event of a front end collision, is going to give about an inch to 2.5 inches collapse. And I went with a Suburban center section here, and up here that's going to give me about 1.5 inches to maybe 2 inches once we finish welding this in, depending on exactly where we tack that in. But what that's going to give me is somewhere between 2 and 4 inches of collapse in the event of a front end collision before the column would start to get pushed towards the driver. And I really feel that's an important safety issue that a lot of people just aren't including in their builds. So just some food for thought. So as always guys, thanks for stopping back again. I hope you enjoy my videos and I hope you come back again. Like and subscribe. I appreciate everybody watching. Take care, stay safe.